Newcomb High. This is the class of Newcomb High. Don't wanna go to Newcomb High. I don't wanna die.
Hi! Welcome to Bart in the Bath. Or should I say, Troma Bart in the Bath, as you saw by that meltdown. That was kind of to signify the rebirth of Troma Bart. I used to go by that handle on pretty much all my social medias. I think it was just a fun way for me to be like, hey, Lloyd will remember my name definitely this way. That, and I'd met Troma Ron. I'd become friends with Troma Dan online, and Troma Dan said, join us. So I shoehorned my way in, and I became Troma Bart, and people started calling me Troma Bart, but then after a while I was like, I'm a fraud. I don't need to be Troma Bart anymore. I just need to march to the beat of my own drum. So there I was, but then a few weeks ago I went and spent some time on a Tromaville set, The Power of Positive Murder, and I got to hear Troma Bart needed on set over the PA, or over the walkies PA. PA's walkies. I really should rehearse these episodes beforehand, but speaking of, this is actually my second time doing this episode, hence some of the changes, continuity. I'd done that meltdown, and then I did another episode, and I ran my mouth for like 20 minutes and didn't really say anything at all. So I'm really trying to plan this one out a little bit more and keep it going. So yeah, Troma Bart, I'm back. Whether you want me or not, I'm back. And the big thing with like my introduction to Troma, a lot of people watching this, if you're younger, there's not really much for you to watch on Troma. It's all very adult, it's very raunchy, quite gory, so there's the Toxic Crusaders. Thought I had to poot. But anywho, I grew up watching a lot of Troma stuff that I probably shouldn't have watched, but I did. You know, whether it be bootleg VHS, but here we are. And then I was working on a movie with my best friend Jay Burleson years ago. It's called The Nobodies. We were doing stuff that was totally out of control, just off the rails, and my motto was, maybe Troma will buy this. Maybe Troma will like this movie. Dreams come true. Troma liked it. Our dear friend Elizabeth D'Ambrosio, Liz, she worked at the Troma offices in acquisitions. She watched it, loved it, and before she was leaving Troma, she made sure that it was acquired by Troma. So that was my first Troma release to be in. Cut to like a year later or so, Uncle Lloyd Kaufman, co-founder of Troma Entertainment, along with Michael Hertz, who may or may not exist. I'm not convinced. But anyways, Lloyd told me on Twitter, he said, hey, you should audition for Shakespeare's Bleep Storm. I edited for my younger viewers. So I sent an audition for it, and I got cast as a VIP party animal. In Tromaville, they call extras actor persons. It makes us feel really important because, I mean, we're there, we're making art. We're a part of the Troma. And so that was my first official introduction in Tromaville. I made some really, really great friends that I'll have for life, or at least I hope to. And that's led me to quite a few other things. So from there, I was in Kevin Walter hit me up to be in his movie called The Tower Rats. And that's a fever dream of a movie. If you've got Troma Now, which Troma Now available for $4.99 every month. And there's new movies added. It's a really, really awesome deal, and you know, it's an endless supply of Troma entertainment. Plus, you get to see me in quite a few things, like The Nobodies. Shakespeare's Bleep Storm will be added soon, I believe. Kevin Walters' The Tower Rats is on there. Curse of the Werewolf, directed by Ben Johnson, which I love dearly. Ben Johnson. I mean, I love that movie, but I also love Ben Johnson a lot. I played Lumpy in that movie. That was a blast. You'll see a lot more of me in that movie than you really ever get to see in this past, so be warned there. That'll be added to Troma Now soon. And then recently I worked on The Power of Positive Murder, which is Lloyd Kaufman's final film, or so he says. We'll see about that. And that'll be released, you know, Troma, Movies of the Future. It'll come out in the future. want to give some shout outs. Ben Johnson, as I said, love you, buddy. You welcomed me with open arms and made me feel like a true member of the Troma family, and for that I am eternally grateful. Mark Finch, scary British friend. I met him up in New York the first time I went up there in Queens, and he yelled at us a lot to be quiet on set, and he scared me a lot, and we got to become friends online, as I did with most of these people. And whenever I arrived to Tromaville this most recent time, saw Mark, he greeted me with open arms. So, and let's see, more people on this shout out list. I've got a ton of people, but I'm going to forget a ton more. Amanda Flowers, you're amazing. Such a trooper. I'm so honored to get to share some screen time with you. One time I get unalive, the other time I'm very much so alive. I get to be a Marine coming in and saving you along with Toxie. So hopefully I'll get some neat screen grabs from that. I haven't seen any really neat pictures, and I really should have had somebody take a picture of me, like Jens. So I keep looking through. Jens he was a Swedish photographer they had on set. He took some really amazing pictures, and sadly I never said, hey, can I get a picture? Because I didn't put myself out there. I was like a Troma Bart out of water, man. Yeah. Anywho, Dusk. He was a friend I made, once again, the first time I was up in New York in Tromaville. This time around, I was looking around for familiar faces, and Dusk has this beautiful bouncing black hair. And I saw him just bouncing around. I was like, Dusk, he's here, yay! And so had a really good chat with him. Veda Callisto. You've become a really great friend over the years, and you made me a liquid IV. So that was really nice. Like, the hydration was awesome. I wasn't hungover. I don't drink anymore, but it was still just a random kind gesture you did for me that morning, and it was like, yep, I wanted to try out this liquid IV, and it did the trick. I felt great. So thank you, Veda. Maybe we continue to be in movies together, and maybe we'll actually share some screen time. Actually, no, I think you were in that one scene with me, so that's neat. See, Pat Clowman, once again, became friends with Pat kind of after the fact, and then saw him this recent time whenever I was up on set, and I saw his eyes lit up, and he let me know that they'd put up a picture of me and the amazing Blade Braxton, the Midnight Rose. Long live the Midnight Rose. There's a picture of us up on the fridge. So I think I'm in that movie like 3 separate times, hopefully. Whoever's editing, make sure that I'm in this movie. I don't know if you're going to be watching this, but, Tromaville, listen to your Troma family. I've made a long trek for that movie. And Uncle Lloyd, that's my final shout out here. There's plenty more I could give shout outs to, but I got to keep this moving along. So, Uncle Lloyd Kaufman, he's definitely a legend. Always makes me feel like $1,000,000. Look at him right there. Nah, that wasn't Lloyd. Here's Lloyd. So, yeah, that was whenever I snuck up on him, or I was just going up behind him. I worked C2E2 in Chicago years ago. And was like, you know what? Lloyd's giving out free selfies to everybody, but I'm just going to walk up behind Lloyd and get one real quick. We're lucky it wasn't blurry. I have a tremor and my hands shake a lot, which made for a really great performance, I think, in The Power of Positive Murder. Excuse me, before we're on to the next segment. But yeah, Troma family, if I didn't mention you in this, don't feel offended. I love you guys, and thank you for accepting me into the Troma family. Right now, though, I've got this Dr. Pepper. In Tromaville, you just kind of do whatever you want, and some people approve of it, and seeing how I'm like producer and director and writer of this show, I'm approving of whatever I want. This is this Dr. Pepper Jack Link's meat stick. I don't have a good feeling about this, but we're just going to randomly jump into this and keep this show moving along. Okay. That's actually kind of oddly good. Like, there's almost like a bit of a Dr. Pepper aftertaste, which I'm okay with it. Man, if you like Dr. Pepper, you'd probably love that. Talking to you, Stacy, my sister-in-law, you'd probably love that. My Aunt She, probably not so much, because she's very picky and she loves Dr. Pepper, but some tell me she would just at that. Either way, I love you, Aunt She. I'm just glad I'm not as picky as you are sometimes. Oh yeah, man. Snacks. You know what goes really great with snacks? Movie time! So, the first movie I really want to review here, it's a Troma release from some guys that they went on and they made this show, this cartoon, it's called South Park. May have heard of it. I don't know. They kind of got popular. They initially pitched South Park to Lloyd. And Lloyd was like, no, I don't want it to be called South Park. I want it to be called Tromaville. And they said, we're going to shop it around elsewhere. Saw where it got them. But anywho, first movie that I'm going to review is called Cannibal the Musical. It was a college project from Trey Parker and Matt Stone. It's a spadonkle day. My heart's as warm as a baked potato. Let's build a snowman. There's some really great songs in Cannibal the Musical. I got to watch it years ago. My friend Zombie, he rented it from Movie Gallery on VHS because we're relics. But yeah, we watched it. Zombie, there's one scene during the guy singing Let's Build a Snowman. Some things happen, and Zombie cackled laughing for at least 15 to 20 minutes, I believe. And he still says that is probably the hardest he's ever laughed in his life. And Zombies, I mean, that was whenever Zombie was like 16, 17, and Zombie's 40 now. So he's had some time to laugh, and I don't doubt it because that was impressive. Like, I thought his head was going to explode that night. But yeah, Cannibal the Musical, you can get on Troma now and watch it, or you can pop on refusefilms.com. There is a Blu-ray coming out of Cannibal the Musical. My buddy Liam, he owns Refuse Films. He's getting to distribute some really awesome Troma classics. Like, there's some Toxie stuff coming out, and Sergeant Kabuki Man, I believe he has putting out. But Liam has also directed and written My Bloody Banjo and Eating Miss Campbell. Fantoxic films. So if you're in Tromaville, you get to hear adjectives like fantoxic and tromazing. Speaking of a tromazing movie, You've Got Mail. Yeah, I was even telling people in Tromaville to watch You've Got Mail. Oh. Alright, bath buddies, bubble buddies, God. No, I have one more thing I want to say. I'm hoping to earn my Troma diploma. Maybe that meltdown will be just enough to give me my Troma diploma. Or maybe I'm going to have to be in like 5 more Troma releases to get it. Or I'll just forge my own, and I'm like, haha. But, you know, there's always that hopes and dreams. It's like a kid getting a letter to Hogwarts. Mine is like, I'll get a letter from Troma that's like, what is this? And I open it up, and it's my Troma diploma. That would be a proud achievement in my life. So, Bubble Buddies, it is time to drain this toxic sludge. Troma Bart is back, guys. Whatever that means, it probably means no changes whatsoever, other than, you know, I might change like a handle or two. I already have on my Twitter. I refuse to call it X. So, yeah, it's already Troma Bart there. I have no more notes. We're out of notes. We're out of time. Until next time, enjoy your next 8 to 12 hours. And we're out of here.